Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United versus Liverpool. It's the big one. There's a lot to discuss. It's time to get excited. It's time to get scared. People say it's a hate rivalry. I think it's a great rivalry. I think Manchester United versus Liverpool is the greatest game in the Premier League, and therefore it is a great rivalry. Neither side wants to win. It matters more than ever. It matters more than any. And look, I don't know. I can't remember the last time there was a big game like this between Manchester United and Liverpool. It's McFred or it's Matic and Pogba. It's Solskjaer against Klopp. It's top against second. There's so many dynamics to this. You could literally spend, probably like I am, every few minutes just thinking about confidence. I'll take a draw. I think we're going to lose. You know, there's so many things to get through to. I think weirdly we're probably going to start off with the team which is on the left there. And what I'm going to say about this team is, let me just go from here to here for a minute. That is how I think Solskjaer will pick it. It's not what I would go with. That's how I think Solskjaer is going to go. I don't think Martial's injury will actually be that bad. I just think he wants to play Pogba, but he will start McFred. I think it's a big decision. And I think that probably the biggest decision in this game is whether you go McTominay and Fred or you go Matic and Pogba. And I think the reality is, I think he's going to go McTominay and Fred because the hint was in the Burnley game. He went with the experience against Burnley. I think he's going to go with the energy and legs against Liverpool because he's going to accept that they're going to attack us. And if you've not watched Liverpool, where have you been for the last 2.5 years? But I think we know exactly what's going to happen with Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson will basically be like wingers. They will push us right back. Their centre-backs, whoever it's going to be, it could be Jurgen Klopp himself. I think Matip's meant to be out now. Their last game they had Fabinho and Henderson playing at centre-back. So they are weak at centre-back, but Liverpool's way of counter-attacking being weak at centre-back is certainly not to sit back and invite teams on. They will try and take the oxygen out of Man United in the first half an hour. I've seen Leicester go to Wolves recently. I've seen Leicester go to Anfield recently. I've seen Wolves go to Anfield recently. Both those games I was hoping that those teams might take something off Liverpool, and they got absolutely demolished. They couldn't get out their own half. So United have got to find a way to get out of their half whilst also accepting that Liverpool are going to come at them like a train. Obviously they've got that front three of Mane and Firmino and Salah. Their midfield will be energetic. Thiago can ping balls all day, of course. And as I said, Trent and Robertson will push forward. So we're going to have to defend a lot in this game. And I think for that reason, he won't risk Paul Pogba in the midfield too. And he won't risk Matic's lack of speed in the midfield too. I think he will go with McTominay and Fred. And I'm of a mind it's the right thing to do. But, and here comes the controversial bit, could you shed some light on Van de Beek to Inter, says Karan. We'll talk about that in a minute because there's an update on a centre-back and there's also an update on a right-back. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. I want to get into this exciting United versus Liverpool preview. I personally think he will go with McFred and he will put Pogba to the left-hand side of the midfield with Rashford on the right and Cavani up front. I think this is a mistake. I think if you're not playing Pogba in the midfield, you don't pick Pogba at all. And the reason for that is we need to have pace on the break. And if you've got Pogba on the left, he won't be pace on the break. And if you've got Cavani up front, he won't be pace on the break. So you're totally reliant on Marcus Rashford. I want Rashford up against Trent Alexander-Arnold because that in the past has been an issue. I'm not even opposed, and this sounds stupid, I really do, I know it sounds stupid, but I'm not opposed to putting Dan James on the right wing. And I know that sounds really stupid, but we need somebody who is going to track Robertson and hurt him as well. And it might just work, because you know what? Dan James worked against Leeds, and we've got to be clever against Liverpool. I don't see Liverpool having a deep line and us having loads of possession like we did against Burnley. I see us having to hit them on the break. And what we need to have on both flanks is to work. And I've not even seen Rashford doing this a lot for a long time. He's going to have to come back with the fullback. You can't have Luke Shaw or Wan-Bissaka getting double teamed. So we need two players who are on the wide, who are going to work hard backwards, but also be quick on the break. Well, there's only three players I can think who can do that. Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford and Dan James. And I think two of those three have got to start in this game because I think Liverpool's biggest threat is down the flanks. We cannot get double teamed. So, you know, I don't think he's going to do that. I think he'll go with that team. I can see the value of Cavani up front because if they've not got two proper centre backs, he's a proper centre forward. But there's so many twists and turns in this game, isn't there? I mean, I can see people in the live comments saying any news on Lindelof's sacking, and I think that I really do think that you could go with so many different options in how we line up in this game. So many different ways of playing, so many different midfield permutations, so many players that maybe should play. But I think one player that we know isn't going to play, and thanks for letting me know about the thumbnail, I'm just changing it now. One player that we know that isn't going to play is going to be Donny van der Beek. He won't play. So I mean, look, it's over to you. How would you do it? Would I make any changes to that team? Look, as I said before, bringing it into the game itself, this is going to be passion in 2 hours. Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool, whether you like them or you don't like them, whether you respect them, whether you hate them, whatever. Not really interested in that. With Liverpool, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get 100 miles an hour intensity, especially for the first half an hour. They're going to try and starve of his oxygen, and Jurgen Klopp's going to be on that touchline, pacing up and down, like the passion merchant that he is. And, that's not a negative thing. He's going to do that. And United cannot be just submissive in this game. We've also got to be like that as well. And maybe that's why he will go for McTominay and Fred. I think substitutions are going to be really, really interesting in this game. But look, I do quite like the idea of the Rashford and the Martial and the Cavani as a front three. But I do also think that he may well do Pogba on the left-hand side, as I've said. But we'll see. We'll see how he goes. The thumbnail does not say Burnley versus Manchester United because I've just changed it. Stop stressing out. PSG first leg formation, says Nitin. And I won't be surprised if Dan James starts, to be honest. You know what? It could be a masterstroke. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but it could be a masterstroke. Because when you look at Liverpool over their last 3 games, forget they beat Crystal Palace 7-0. Liverpool over their last 3 games have only scored 1 goal. They've had 2. They've failed to score against Southampton. I don't think they scored against Newcastle, did they? I think they scored 1 against Brighton or something like that. So they've only scored 1 in their last 3. Of course, they hit 7 past Palace, and I'm not worried. I'm not saying Liverpool are struggling to score goals. I mean, technically they are. They will score goals if we let them. Of course, I've got to be honest and say, as Sakin said a minute ago, is there any chance that this will happen? Victor Lindelof comes in instead of Eric Bailly. Well, of course there is. I mean, we assume that won't happen, and it shouldn't happen. I think the leadership of Eric Bailly at the back is essential in this game, and it shouldn't happen. But, it could well happen. But in a glass, and I have got a glass here to drink. In a glass, I would say that we need to play in a very sensible way against Liverpool. And I suppose I'm having serious doubts about Bailly and Cavani, says Henrik. And he goes with the team you got, but he'll put Lindelof in, says Robert McCormack. And he might do that. He might. Look, I'm not saying definitely Eric Bailly is going to start. I think Eric Bailly has to start. Doesn't mean he will start. I would love to see it to win the game with a penalty and see Klopp moan about it after the game, says Dejan. And this becomes probably one of the most important parts of this preview. What do you go for? What is the result? How do you approach this game? Do you go into it to win? Yes. Do you go into it gung-ho to win? No. Do you go in to win in a way that we've won in the past over the last 2 years? 100% yes. This is the only game where I will sit there and say, if he wants to hit Liverpool on the break and defend well, bloody go with it with my blessing. This, so many times we've moaned about that tactic, but it's been against the wrong opposition. It's been like Chelsea or Arsenal at home. This is Liverpool away. This is the champions of England. This is the best team in the country. This is a team that's going to attack us. This is at Anfield. They've not lost there in God knows how long. Winning at Anfield is highly unlikely. Whether we want to, whether we dream about it, it's very, very unlikely. And I believe we can do it, but I don't think we should go into it saying we're going to win. And that's not the attitude we need to go into. We go into it wanting to win the game, but we go into the game making sure we don't lose the game. And we do that by defending well. We know if we set up in a certain way, we can hurt Liverpool. And, it might not be what people want to hear, but I still believe that we are 3 top quality signings away from being a side that goes to Liverpool and takes them on toe-to-toe. I didn't say we're 3 signings away from winning a title, because as we've seen in the past, Leicester City won a title. we're top of the league at the moment. So you can't dismiss the fact that we're in a title race, but I think we're 3 top quality players away from being able to, from developing that team further and being able to go to Anfield and go toe to toe with a team like Liverpool. We're not there yet. So we need to own that. And also we need to own the fact that we're 3 points ahead of Liverpool. Let Klopp worry about that. If Klopp draws at home to us, we're still 3 points ahead of them. And that's a big opportunity gone for them, because back at Old Trafford, I think we become more of a favourite. So, especially if there's some fans back in the ground. Liverpool need to win this game. That's one of the biggest takeaways I would take from this game. Liverpool need to win this game. We're 3 points ahead of them. There's no games in hand. And Man City are coming. Liverpool need to win this game. They can't draw it. We can draw it and walk away from there and go, that's not bad. I want to win. You want to win, but we need to make sure we don't lose. And the best way to do that is say, do what you're going to do. We know you're going to attack us down the flanks. We know Mane and Salah are going to try and win penalties and mess around in the box with little skills and shots. We've got to defend. We've got to mark our men. We've got to make sure we don't get done on the overlap from Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. And that's why whether it's Martial and Rashford or Pogba and Rashford or whoever he's going to put on the flanks, they're probably more important than McTominay and Fred or Matic and Pogba. So that is how we're going to do it. Score results, I mean, prediction-wise, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're a fantastic side. I'm not going to say that. And I think that we're doing really well at the moment. I'm going to tell you how well we're doing in a minute. Very interesting stat for you. I think this has got 1-1 written all over it. I think it's going to be a draw. And I don't think that's a bad result for United. But where I dare to dream, and Thomas and Sassid are saying 2-1, where I dare to dream in this game is that I think that we could, if we can defend well, we can definitely hurt them on the break. Marcus Rashford is probably our biggest talent in this game. And, I think Rashford's had a good season. Some people say he was shit the other night. Well, he got an assist. He was crap against Wolves. He got the winning goal. Marcus Rashford in a game like this, he could play crap for 87 minutes, get the ball on the break, skip past Jordan Henderson and whack it in the bottom corner. Marcus Rashford in this game has got to be fit, focused and utilised. And Marcus Rashford is the player that Liverpool will be most worried about, because they don't have Van Dijk. They don't have Matip. They've got centre-backs that aren't really centre-backs. And Marcus Rashford, if we can get him on the ball, on the break, on that big Anfield pitch, he can cause a problem. I think Martial can as well. I just don't know whether Martial's going to be fit. I would put Martial on the wing and I would put Rashford on the wing, but they've got to work hard backwards as much as they're going to work forwards. We need to take every chance we've got against Liverpool or we could be punished, says Connor Shields. Our defenders can win or lose the game for us on Sunday. Massive test, Connor. Massive test. Gabriel Noel says Ollie might shock us and play Donny van de Beek because Fred and Van de Beek pivot would be the best at breaking up play while escaping the crest, because Van de Beek is the best at that. Gabriel, you know what? I would applaud that comment. I think Donny van de Beek in a game like this would be perfect, but he won't be used, and we all know it. Feeling confident after a long time going into a match like this. We can pull a win out at Anfield. Nice work, United stand, says Rajat. And what about playing Tellez in front of Shaw, says Paul Heighton. I mean, I've seen that a few times in the live comments, and I've got to say, I wouldn't be opposed to playing Tellez. Whoever plays on the flanks has got to be quick and hard-working and be on a threat on the break. Now, is Tellez that? I don't know, but it's a consideration, and that's why I threw Dan James in there. I don't really want to see Paul Pogba playing off the left, but I think Ollie will play him there to accommodate him. And the reality is, we've seen this. If you're going to play Paul Pogba, you've got to play Paul Pogba in his best position. And his best position was where he played against Burnley and where he played against West Ham. That, he's got to be involved in the play. Paul Pogba and his long deep balls can't do the damage from the left-hand side, can they? We need to hit them harder than they hit us and believe that we can go there and get a result. Bailly must play McFred, Matic and Bruno in midfield. Interesting, says Josh Hill. I mean, he might change the formation altogether. Just joined. Any updates on Donny for Ericsson, pal, says Sion. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But can I just say as well, if you just want a little bit of more excitement, if you just want a little bit more belief, can I just tell you this? You might have seen it on my Twitter. If you have, at Mark Goldbridge, you can follow me there. Apologies. But Bruno dives from outside the box against Liverpool and VAR gives a penalty in the 94th minute for the win, says Ban 2, COD 3. A lot of people wanting a dodgy penalty against Liverpool to win it. I want us to beat Liverpool fair and square, because I think that sends the right message. Because nobody, it's like that song by David Bowie, We Could Be Heroes. We could be heroes on Sunday. I think we've already achieved something by getting top of the league. But if we then got top of the league and went and beat Liverpool, all this hate and bitterness would disappear because they'd be like, oh my God, not only are they top of the league, they've just been to Anfield and won. That's the challenge. If I was a United player, as a United fan, I'm buzzing. I'm so excited about this. But if I was a United player, I'd feel 10 feet tall. Even if it was Dan James and Juan Mata, I'd feel 10 feet tall because I'd be like, this is it. This is what it's all about. 90 minutes. We can beat Liverpool. Of course they can beat us. Of course they're favourites. But we can beat them. And if we did beat them, holy shit. Ollie's got to get into their mindset of these United players. Whether it's the minute before they go out or it's today in Carrington, I'd have them in the room and I'd be going, look at that league table, lads. Look at this league table. Look at the badge you wear. Look at the history of this club. Manchester United, we are top of that league. There's no games in hand that take us off the top. We are top of that league. And you know what? If we go to Anfield on Sunday, nobody's beaten them there for years. If we beat them, we're 6 points clear of Liverpool. 6 points clear of Liverpool with no games in hand for either of us. That's the prize on Sunday. And then we've got Fulham and then we've got Sheffield United. So we could really hammer home that advantage. That we've got to believe. We can't go there nervous. Because one thing Liverpool are brilliant at, if you're nervous, they will swallow you up and shit you out. I kid you not. So we've got to go there confident, focused, and brave. And don't look at Liverpool and go, oh my God, we're playing the favourites. They're top of the league. Go at them and go, you're not Liverpool top of the league. We are. We're Manchester United. You're our biggest rivals. You get nothing off us. Not even the steam off our piss until the end of the game. This is a rivalry. It's a great rivalry. No quarter given, the rewards are huge. And on the other hand, the failure is huge as well. Because Sunday night, if we lose, we're back there in the shadows again. You're not really top. Liverpool are. It's got to be Rashford on the left versus Trent, says Harry Gagan. I agree. Why not the diamond, says that boy Juice 93. Cavani, Rashi up front. The problem with the diamond, and we might play the diamond, that boy Juice, is it's a change of formation, isn't it? And that worries me. Gabriel says 4-2 United win. Bruno, first ever hat-trick for United, shutting up all haters about not stepping up in the big games. Get me excited. How is City suddenly defending like Jose's first Chelsea team? Pepper's become more pragmatic and they're getting dangerous, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. I would love Diallo to come off the bench like Martial did in 2016 and score, says JM30. I mean, I doubt he'll be on the bench, but imagine if that did happen. Sharath Kamath Fitness is very true about City. I don't want to talk about City, but defending really well and all this false nine shit, they don't create many chances either, really. So they are quite more pragmatic and they are very dangerous, which is why if you're thinking about a title, winning on Sunday is so important to Liverpool and important to us. But let me just tell you this anyway. Manchester United, remember this. Now, look, I get clipped up a lot about things, some good, some bad. If you want to clip something, clip this. You get a lot of United fans out there, especially since we've gone top of the league, telling people you can't celebrate being top of the league because you were saying Ollie out. You said Ollie out a year ago. You're an Ollie doubter, so you don't get to celebrate as being top of the league because you're not a real fan. Bullshit, right? Listen to this. Manchester United, Thursday, before we played Everton, Manchester Evening News, sources saying Manchester United have spoken to Pochettino about taking Ollie's job. The Saturday against Everton, loads of our fan base are Ollie out. Don't care if we lose, get rid of Ollie. He beats Everton and he says, I will not give them the satisfaction of us losing again. Everton win, 11 league games later, 9 wins, 2 draws. Before that Everton game, we'd played 6 league games. We'd lost 3, we'd drawn 1 and won 2. Ever since Solskjaer's job was on the line, ever since fans were saying Ollie out, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has won 9 league games and drawn 2. He's unbeaten in 11 games. It's ridiculous. A ridiculous run in the Premier League. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, after that first win, said, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of losing again. And he was absolutely right. What an achievement by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But also, is that not a blueprint that a manager under pressure will go and succeed more than a manager where everyone sits and goes, it's fine? I mean, how ridiculous are people that they say, oh, if you were moaning about how we were doing, you don't deserve the praise. I would say everybody who actually moaned and said it wasn't good enough are probably part of the reason where we are here. Because have no doubts about it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was under huge pressure before that Everton game. I've never seen him so angry afterwards. Huge pressure caused by these Pochettino rumours, caused by fans saying he's not good enough. What happened? The players got behind the manager and we've never looked back. And that pressure on underperforming has led to this run. If that pressure had not been applied to Solskjaer and those players, I don't think they were going to go on this run. So for all these people who say, wow, win, lose or draw, get behind the manager and get behind the team. Yeah, win, lose or draw. There'd be a lot of those L&Ds if you lot were still, saying everything's fine when we were doing shit. To me, this is a response from a very, very good set of players, a very good manager who've had the pressure applied and have realised that kick up the arse has sent us on this run. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So when we go into this Liverpool game, we're on a run in the league of 11 games unbeaten and only 2 draws. So if we lose on Sunday, that's the end of an amazing run. Can you really see that happening? I don't know. My prediction is a draw, by the way. Do you think Ollie will play 4 at the back and not 5? Would be a big statement in a defining game at Liverpool. Can you please call Shabazz a prat, says P. San. Thanks for all the super chats that are coming in, by the way. Paul Govler says, do you think Ollie could line up like we did against City in the league? I don't think we're going to play a back 5, And I think if you had asked me 4 or 5 weeks ago, I'd say he's going to play a back 5 against Liverpool. He might play Tellez at left wing back and put Luke Shaw as left centre back. But the way Liverpool play, do you need to play a back 5? I mean, they're going to play Firmino. Why do you need 3 centre backs around him? I would back Luke Shaw to deal with Salah. I would back Wan-Bissaka to deal with Mane. And I would definitely back Maguire and Bailly to deal with Firmino. So go with a back 4. Because then you don't lose an attacker, and ultimately I think if we sit back, then that will be to our detriment. Liverpool could be cautious, and I won't be surprised if we end up with a 0-0. Klopp's mentality seems fragile and would definitely be wary of United, says Shahan. I don't know how Liverpool are going to approach this game. How they approach it is going to be very, very, very interesting because, as I said, I've seen Liverpool, and their approach at Old Trafford is to try and get goals and get goals and get goals. And I think if they got an early goal, they'd try and beat us 3 or 4-0. So we've got to play the 90 minutes. You've got to play the referee. You've got to play the occasion. Which is, again, would he not go for someone like Matic and Pogba for their experience? He will pick Pogba. I just don't think he will play him in the midfield. And therefore, if he plays him out wide, we're losing that break. You put Pogba up against Trent Alexander-Arnold. He ain't quick enough to stay with Trent Alexander-Arnold backwards and forwards. So I don't know. He's got a really... I think what Ollie's got to do is play this game and use the squad. If it means benching Pogba, if it means benching McFred and playing Pogba in the midfield, if it means, playing a Dan James, if it means benching Cavani, you might have to do it, because I think this game, more than ever, is about the system. It's not about getting your best players on the pitch. Them flanks have got to have... We know in Shaw and Wan-Bissaka we've got the 2 best fullbacks we've got defensively, so they're fine. Well, if they don't perform, they don't perform, but if they do, we know they're fine. You need 2 players in front of them who are quick, who are going to help them backwards and forward. It's absolutely huge. It really is. Can I just draw your attention as well to United Stand Picks? I know some of you have been playing this. The link is in the video description. We've got a £1,000 cash pot for you to win. The way this works is for every game, we've got the United Stand Picks. You get 12 questions. The persons with the most points wins the pot. The questions for this week are, well, I'll go through them. Links in the video description. You've got to be over 18 to play. And please play responsibly. Terms and conditions there. The reason you've got to be over 18 is obviously because there's cash prize available. And the questions are pretty much the same as they are for most games. Will Man United score in the first half? Yes or no? If you get yes, you get 2 points. If you get no, you get nothing. Will they score in the second half? Yes or no? If they do, 2 points. If they don't, no points for you. How many shots on target will Manchester United have? 4 plus or 4 under. If you get that right, you get 4 points. Will United be awarded a penalty? Yes or no? If you get that right, you get the points. How many goals will Rashford score? 1 or none? 1 plus or none? So, and it goes through like that. Will Bruno get an assist? 12 questions. The person with the most points, and it changes during the game. The leaderboard is active. You can win the £1,000 cash pot, which is distributed, I think, between the top 4 people. So links in the video description for that. United Stand Picks. Download it. Give it a go. You've got to be over 18 to play. So yeah, a little bit of fun for you there. Mark, Pogba might be the most important player in the match because of his ability to hit long balls from deep. That's if we play him from deep, Ashik. If we don't play Pogba where McTominay and Fred will play, then Pogba's long balls from deep won't be good. And I think, if I'm absolutely honest with you, I know that's the team I think Ollie will pick. I'd love to see Pogba next to Fred. I'd love to see Pogba next to Fred, like the Sevilla game, and Martial on the left, or Rashford on the left, Martial on the right, however you want to do it. I'd love to see Pogba in that midfield, but I don't know whether he'll dare do it. Pogba against Thiago is what people want to see, surely. Have you heard... Oh, no, I can't read that because Flex47's got rid of it. Is Martial injured to Sylvester? Well, we'll find out about that tomorrow. We don't actually know about Martial being injured yet because obviously he came off at the end, but we don't know whether that will be the case. We know that Matip is a doubt for Liverpool. Who they'll play at centre-back will be very, very interesting. Just a couple of bits of news for you as well, just while we are live. I don't want to be a downer, but not to worry, we didn't win in any of the big games this year. 2 losses for Spurs and Arsenal, 2 draws against City and Chelsea, says Connor. I mean, McTominay will start, says Robert McCormack, and I think him and Fred will start, Robert, as well, I agree. But I think that, we do need to improve our record against the top 6, but I think we also almost need to ignore the record against the top 6. A draw wouldn't be a bad result here. You can't say a draw is a bad result because we lost to Arsenal. Like, we're top of the league. Drawing with the second place team away from home is not a bad result. I want to win. I believe we can win. But if I was offered a draw now, there's the question. If you were offered a draw now, would you take it? And you notice how I hesitated? I always want to win. Would I take the draw now or gamble on us winning at the weekend? It's a tough one because I think we can win. But we've got to play well and we've got to play the right way and we've got to pick the right system and pick the right players. If you offered me a draw now, I think my brain is saying take the draw. But my heart is saying I think we could go and win. We could be heroes. We could go and win. And if we gamble and we lose, we're still on the same points as Liverpool anyway. So I don't know. A lot of people are saying no. A lot of people, I'd say about 70% are saying no and about 30% are saying yes. And I think that's probably about right. I think that confidence is there that we can get something. Not that we will, but we can. But a draw wouldn't be a terrible result. It's just a fantastic game. It's a great rivalry. It's a fantastic game. And you know what? I know it's horrible if Liverpool win, but I'd rather be playing against Liverpool than anybody else in this sort of a race because it matters more. If you win it, it matters more. If we win on Sunday night, if we lose, we're still at work in progress, aren't we? Just a couple of stories to bring you. I got something just sent before I came online. I don't know where it came from. Basically, a journalist had said, I think it's Sam Pilger, had said that Manchester United are no longer looking for a centre-back because of the re-emergence of Eric Bailly. What's your favourite ice cream, says Christopher Hurst? Depends on the mood. I wouldn't mind a strawberry one at the moment. It feels quite refreshing. But look, Manchester United not looking for a centre-back apparently, according to this journalist, because of the re-emergence of Eric Bailly. I don't believe this story at all. I would say he's half right. Manchester United not looking for a centre-back appears to be right. I don't think it's got anything to do with the re-emergence of Eric Bailly. And if United are feeding that out, that's bullshit. There is no way Manchester United are that stupid to think, Eric Bailly's playing well, we don't need a centre-back now. They know more than we know. And we know a lot about Eric Bailly. He's Mr. Injury Prone. And it's no surprise that Eric Bailly's fit and playing well. This is not the problem. Everybody knows Eric Bailly can play well. The problem is, we all know Eric Bailly plays well for about a month and then gets injured. So there's no way that United have decided not to buy a centre-back because Eric Bailly's playing fit and well. That's never been the issue. They need a centre-back and they know they need a centre-back. So I don't believe that. I believe we're probably not going to buy one in January, but I don't believe that we don't need a centre-back because Eric Bailly's playing well, because that would totally and utterly ignore the real issues. Also a story coming out of Italy, Calcio Mercato I think it was, that Manchester United could be tempted to take Christian Eriksen from Inter, who wants to get away, and let them have Donny van der Beek. I'll tell you now, top of the league or not, if we let Donny van der Beek leave, I would be absolutely disgusted. I don't care whether, and I don't want Christian Eriksen anyway. He can't even beat the first man on a corner. And he snubbed us before. So this is just a bullshit story as well. There's no way Manchester United are going to give a 23-year-old Donny van der Beek to Inter Milan so we can get a bloody 29 whatever year old Christian Eriksen who's flopped in Italy. No chance. Not in a million years. The fans. I wouldn't say the fans won't let it happen because we can't stop it happening, but that would be stupid. Stupid beyond belief. Donny van der Beek is he's a Man United player now, but he's a future star of Manchester United. I firmly believe it. And I just think that, he needs to be given the opportunity to play. Would you start 5 at the back on Sunday, says CJCMC? No, because if you play 5 at the back, you only play 2 up front. And, I mean, you know what? It doesn't sound as stupid now, because remember against City a couple of times last year, we did play a 5-3-2 and we had Dan James and I think Rashford up front and it worked quite well. But I don't think he'll play a back 5. The only reason he might play a back five, well, no, it still doesn't work. I mean, how does a back five work if you want to play Pogba? Because Bruno's going to play, and if he's going to play a back five so he can get Pogba into the team, then you're still playing three in the middle. Well, you play three in the middle if you play a back four. So I don't think he'd play a back five. I don't think he would. But if he did play a back five, he'd play Lindelof and Bailly, wouldn't he? So that might be a reason to do it. Mark, one out of Matic, Pogba or Van der Beek has to play in the double pivot, as Liverpool are a high-pressing team, and I think McFred will struggle, says Ian. Yeah, and I think it will be Pogba. It's just who he should play Pogba with. Do you play Pogba with Fred? I think I'd like to see that. And don't forget about Robertson, who will track him if Rashford is on the right, says Josh Clements. And so fantastic. If United win, Bay has been great. The team has responded. So, in fact, United will win against Liverpool, says Lars Henrik Kier. And we want to see that positivity. Of course we do. What's your score predictions then? My score prediction is going to be 1-1. I'm going to stick with that. It will change. It will change in an hour. It will change tomorrow. It will change on Saturday. And it will change on Sunday before the game. So, but at the moment, I'm going to go 1-1. I think we can win. But to be honest with you, I think so. If we're absolutely honest with ourselves, how can you predict the score when you don't know what the formation or lineup's going to be? I mean, if that's his lineup, I think it's a draw. If he puts Pogba in the midfield with Fred and plays Martial off the left, I think we've got more chance of winning. If he plays a back five, I think you're looking at a draw again. So, it all depends how we're going to pick. Lots of people are going with 2-1. Just another career mode starts in 20 minutes, by the way, on Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, where I'm actually playing Liverpool, coincidentally. I am actually playing Liverpool in the league. But so it's a bit like a FIFA predicts in many ways, even though it's on my career mode. But it's looking like Brandon Williams is going to stay at Manchester United as well. He was meant to be going on loan, and I think it's a shame that he's not, because I don't personally feel he's Man United quality at the moment, and he needs first team football. But I think that the fact that United are really after Trippier, but they can't do it until the summer because of this ban, means that they're going to have to keep Williams at the club, because we're very short at right back now that Laird's gone on loan and Fosu Mensah is left. So we really don't have a backup right back. You can play Twan Sebi there, but we've only got 4 fit centre backs, and he's one of those. So it's looking like he will stay Brandon Williams. We have to play McFred or we get swamped, says Robert McCormack. You see, I love it. Very, very different opinions about what we need to do. And, I think that's going to make it very, very interesting indeed. Pogba with Fred, can it work? Long balls and tenacity. Well, Shaggy, it worked very well against Sevilla. And Sevilla are one of the best football teams in Europe, footballing teams. So Liverpool are one of the best footballing teams in Europe as well. I think Fred and Pogba can work very well. But one of the big things about this game, and I said it at the start, is Manchester United need to believe, they need to be focused, and they need to be energetic. If they fail on any of those 3 things, we'll lose this game. They've got to concentrate, be focused, and believe, and tenacious and energetic, and which are all sort of the same thing, really. But if we give up on any of those, if we leave your man, if you snooze, you lose. They've got to be focused and they've got to believe, 100%. William needs a loan. We should have kept Fosu Mensah, says Lynn Hall. Hope you're doing well, Lynn. Not seen you in the live comments for a while, probably because it's been busy, but I hope you're doing well. Stick with the same lineup if it's available, says Swansea Union. And play to win instead to lose, says Marie Reviews. Mensah's gone to Leverkusen, as we know. Lindelof will definitely play, says Ivan. Well, there you go. Make sure you smash a like on the video, by the way. Let's see if we can get 2,000 likes. And subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Very, very busy ahead of this Liverpool game. I think I'm on Red Men TV live tonight at 7:30. Then Anfield Agenda at 8:30. We've got the Flex and KG show at 8 o'clock as well. I might be live back before then. We're just trying to work something out. But I am going to be playing FIFA Career Mode in about 15 minutes' time on Mark Goldbridge, That's Football. And I'm playing Liverpool, so that'll be I don't know what that will be. But anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Massively excited about this game. I hope you are as well. One of the most enjoyable previews we've done for a while, because it's a massive game. We're top of the league, and look, let's hope we can stay there. Let's hope we can stay there. And remember, a draw keeps us top. It does. But what a draw does do is if Man City win their games in hand, it puts them top. And we would be saying, if we draw with Liverpool, we will be saying, well, if Man City win their games in hand, they're top. So we give up top technically if City win their games in hand. If we draw, we need to win really if we want to stay top. Remember to play United Stand Picks, links in the video description. You've got to be over 18 to play. £1,000 prize pot up for grabs there as well, and I'll speak to you later. Thanks for watching.